What's up, everybody? It is me, Sean Tank Top. I'm over here at Casa de Tank Top, hanging out with my very good friends, Dustin and Morgan Drace over there at Dojo Drace. How you doing over there? Over at the Dairy Wine and Brandy Buck fucking dojo over there at the Drace household. How you guys doing over there?
What?
I'm talking about some Hobbit stuff right now. I'm talking about some Hobbit stuff. We're talking about some Lord of the Rings stuff over here. Because we're checking out, we're gonna take a look here at this here Lord of the Rings of Power teaser trailer, a behemoth of a production coming from out of Amazon Prime, spending untold amounts of money on television. That I think, I think we were in a text thread not too long ago, and we were like, they spent $400 million, and then they spent 200 some odd million just for the rights.
Yeah.
Stuff like that before that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nuts.
Before they could even start to develop it. It's kind of crazy. What are you guys thinking about?
They don't even have the rights to the real main storyline. They can only have characters that appeared in the appendices.
You know, much like anything kind of else on the internet has been kind of like a bit of a, I don't know, I guess like a subject of a bit of ire from who I like to call the Bree boys, like the people that are just like upset just professionally, like on the internet and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think, not that I ever really pay attention to that stuff, but I just, you hear about it, and plus also like there's tons of shit in the fucking that the original movies didn't do. You know what I mean? Like in the book, like Arwen wasn't the one that fucking saved Frodo from on the riverbed. Like it was a different elf altogether. Like, you know what I mean? But and fucking Tom Bombadil doesn't fucking show up and stuff like that. The elves never show up at fucking Helm's Deep. Like none of that stuff ever fucking happens. They literally rewrote like every fucking heroic and cool thing that Frodo did. Like they took out of the movie and they made him seem as pathetic as fucking possible. So I don't want to fucking hear about any fucking character assassination of a bunch of people with a bunch of books that these dickheads haven't actually fucking read before. So, like, when we're talking about, like, a literal fucking fantasy world where dragons and fucking goblins and shit, it's like, it's not that hard to conceive that there could be some people with a little bit of melanin in this fucking world and shit like that.
Elves on the internet, man.
From what I gathered, essentially, the story that we got was showing the aftermath of everybody had already had the rings. This is showing, like, what the rings did to each of these groups of people. I just thought of a fun game we could play where you could, is it a token character or a fictional sex move? Because they're both like the most ridiculous shit you've ever like.
The words?
Yeah.
Is it a character from Middle Earth, or is it
like a Blumpkin? Sounds like could be a character in Middle Earth,
He would be a hobbit.
He'd be a hobbit.
If it isn't old Blumpkin Baggins over there.
There probably is a Blumpkin Baggins.
There probably is a Blumpkin Baggins.
Filthy Blumpkinses.
The filthy Blumpkin Baggins.
And he would be right.
Yeah, right. No, they would be right.
Not to yuck anyone's yum, but
filthy.
For sure. So, I don't think that we're going to get any Blumpkin Baggins in this trailer, but the only way that we're going to know is if we fucking take a look. You guys want to get going with this thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
ready.
Haven't you ever wondered what else is out there?
That looks pretty.
ooh, everything looks fancy.
In this world, beyond our wandering.
What the fuck?
I can feel it.
That looked like a BBC shot.
A little bit, yeah. I think that's Galadriel right there, who we just saw.
That's cool.
Oh, naked guy.
Naked guy. Nice. Okay.
All right, that's all you get. That's all you get.
I mean, it is a teaser or whatever. I mean, like there definitely was like a couple they wanted to show like this is certainly with those big vistas and stuff like that, where they're just like, this is gonna be like a production that's mostly on par with like what we're kind of familiar with the movies and stuff. You know what I mean? Like this is an expensive show. It's gonna look good and stuff. What were we saying though? Like Dustin, there was one shot that reminded you of a BBC.
Yeah, it looked like
or
it was
whatever.
like, yeah, it was like, oh, the BBC is like filming like this like theater troupe. It just looked,
bit.
I don't know, it looked a little like, I don't know about that.
There was that of the gal with like the matted hair and something. They looked like a little bit. Like I can see what you mean, like what you mean on that other one though. But like then like I don't know, like they got some Monstars in there, and they got like I don't know, like it looked. It was, you know, it's so, again, if this is what people are freaking out about, it's about as underwhelming as I could possibly imagine. You know, not underwhelming in a sense that I think it's bad, but like, I don't know, it just kind of seems like a teaser trailer for like a fantasy story and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem too
and I
crazy,
can't really
right?
tell enough to be upset yet.
It's
too early to tell.
I am or at least I was a big Lord of the Ring fan. Not that I stopped at any point, but I think in my youth, I was a big fan. I loved all the movies, read all the books and everything.
Sure.
And then I just kind of stopped paying attention for the last 15, 20 years or something like that.
Sure.
But
of course.
That looked like it spent so much money and it kind of looked like a sci-fi show. And that's
so?
just from this trailer. I have faith, and I'm judging it only because we only got a minute.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they'll clean it up a little bit, but yeah, certain parts are very CGI that it's like, but I can tell even though.
I mean, that's going to be, that is one thing. I mean, like, I do think that it's not going to be, we ain't going to get the fucking Peter Jackson 2001 treatment.
No, and I wasn't expecting that. And I don't mind a little CGI. Like I can suspend my belief, but like there's some things, I don't know, there's some things where they were doing like a wide shot and it looked great, and then other ones you're like, something in my brain just made me go.
A
little bit. I think that initial kind of vista looked really strong, and then there was like a couple other ones. I think like somebody was hanging off of like, I think it looked like it might have been Galadriel that was like hanging off of like a like an ice thing that looked a little wonky, I guess, but like I don't know. I mean, like I'll say that. I'll also say this though, is that like the prospect of like, not that I think that like the Peter Jackson stuff was necessarily like exactly for kids. I mean, like, I think that it was like an adventure movie, but I don't think that I could categorize those movies as like children's movies, right? But
they're all too scary.
Them being on Amazon Prime and stuff like that, like I wonder how much more they're gonna push like the adult elements of like the story. Like,
I think they're going for like whole family. Like, I think Naked Guy on Fire is like the only, like, they wouldn't have like sexy nudity. They would have like just like. I don't think they're gonna do. I don't know. There's no fucking.
Is the
is
Game
there
of
fucking
Thrones?
in Tolkien?
Is the Game of Thrones of it all, of trying to take that mantle? Are they worried about that?
Game
or are
of
they going for
Thrones
something
actually got like pushback for how like sex position and shit. I think.
Sure.
I don't know. I have a feeling with like Lord of the Rings. Like, I think for this show, especially for like, I think they're going for like the Baby Yoda show. You can watch this with your kids thing, even though it's still like high fantasy stuff. But I feel like they're not going to be doing like
one thing that I would say that would put a mark in that column with you, Mo, is the amount of money that they spent on it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when you start to spend, hundreds of millions of dollars for a single, for 10 episodes of TV. And the same thing is like spending like $200-300 million, for like one movie.
You want little kids buying the toys and shit.
That's right. That's when it's like we want, and that's kind of like the whole like that's why like there aren't really that many big tentpole like rated R films anymore, because they want to get the absolute widest audience, and I think that we're kind of centering that. But I mean, like, it is too hard to tell. I mean, like we did. I mean, I never saw a naked guy in the fucking trailer for like the original fucking movies back in the day.
That's
so maybe there's
true.
just gonna be naked guys. Maybe there's gonna be.
We never saw Frodo's hog.
They're not going to show his hog.
Yeah, we never saw that. We never saw Baggins' hog. They say they got. Hey, hobbits got big feet. Hobbits got big feet.
You know what they say.
No, but I just feel like that didn't feel like sexy nudity. That was just like, oh, he got on fire, so he would be. I don't know. It seemed
that felt like a tale of like a legend or something.
Exactly,
like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Also, or like a feral, like woodland guy.
Yeah, I'm not against even for shows for kids. Like you can show not like full on nudity, or you can do implied nudity when it is like a. Not because we don't
want to be hanging brain in like a
but in America we're so hysterical about like any nudity where it's like and where it's like no, like if a guy is like half drowned at sea, they might wash up with no clothes, but it's like not like a sexy thing. Like it's just, if you see it's like just realism and like
it's just a butt.
Yes, and kids can see a butt and they're gonna giggle, but it's like we really should just calm down and stop being
Don't tell that to Disney Plus because they'll spend money fucking CGI hair covering fucking Daryl Hannah's ass like on a splash or whatever it is.
Heaven forbid. I saw that butt so many times when I was a child and I turned out fine. Look at me. No,
but I think that like the material you could pivot into some adult stuff. I think they'll dip their toes a little bit because they can because of the format. But I to that point, Morgan, I think that's actually just when you spend that amount of money, you want it to be able to play to everybody. They want me watching it. Yeah. They want my fucking nephew Finn watching it. They want they want all the eyeballs and stuff like that.
It might be a little scary for kids because I do know like Lord of the Rings monsters are very scary. Even for me as an adult. So I could see that would be the only thing. I don't think it would be like so much of a violence or sex thing. I think it would just be the horror elements of Tolkien himself that would be like, oh, maybe this is like a little much if you have a kid who's kind of a fraidy cat.
You got a little twitchy kid.
You got a little fraidy cat.
Little fraidy cat kid. That's fine. So we've all been fraidy cat
kids. Wrong with being a fraidy
kids. Oh yeah, for sure. So like
they usually grow up to be horror fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So, I mean, like, but, I can see what you guys are saying about, like, some of the shots, like, kind of being a little wonky. But, like, I remember when it came out, I remember there were some fucking wonky-ass shots in, like, the original, Return of the King. Like, when he's going up on that fucking... When Legolas is like doing that stupid bullshit that he's doing on that fucking elephant or whatever it was, and it's just like there were some composite shots where I was just like, knowing nothing about special effects at the time that I watched it, I was just like, man, that doesn't look great. And so I think that's just when you do that type of stuff with that world, like I think that just kind of is something that happens. And also it's like, it's fairly early. And, at least they're giving us something. They're giving us a date and stuff like that. Looking at you, Hot D. Mm-hmm. I would love to know when you fucking came out. You're just letting you're letting Bezos steal all your thunder over here and shit. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together. Us couple of schlubs from fucking Chicago, or whatever it was. No, but
I literally woke up at 2 p.m. today. I'm like, get your life together.
God. I know, right? No, I mean, like I think that, but I think it was, there was some stuff that I thought looked cool. Like there was like an elven archer or something like that. That looked pretty slick. So, but I agree. Like it is pretty early. It is only like a minute of just very broad, kind of not really connected shots. It's kind of hilarious that people would extrapolate the amount of things that I think people are extrapolating from this woke trash fucking thing that people are rolling on with it. So. Because that's not there either, really. You know what I mean? No. Like, and so, I don't know. I mean, like, and plus also, like, there's tons of shit in the fucking that the original movies didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, in the book, like, like Arwen wasn't the one that fucking saved saved Frodo from like on the riverbed. Like it was a different elf altogether. Like, you know what I mean? But like, you know, and fucking Tom Bombadil doesn't fucking show up and stuff like that. The elves never show up at fucking Helm's Deep. Like none of that stuff ever fucking happens. They literally rewrote like every fucking heroic and cool thing that Frodo did. Like they took out of the movie and they made him seem as pathetic as fucking possible. So I don't want to fucking hear about any fucking character assassination of a bunch of people with a bunch of books that these dickheads haven't actually fucking read before. So like I think that, you know, I think that what I mean to say is that I don't think that there's nearly enough information to be making that type of a call. Yeah. You can make the type of call where you're like, that shot looked a little wonky, or that shot wasn't like too great, or that shot looked kind of cool. That's basically all you can kind of say about this stuff, at least at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm almost like they should have showed less.
Oh, they could have done.
They should have focused,
just like hammering of like the ring or something.
Yeah,
like that. You know
or just like one very isolated scene. I don't know. Just I sometimes with trailers, I think you show too much. You're like, look at this, now look at this, now look at this.
It's like a really slow.
But what they want the YouTube reactors to be like 25 Easter eggs that you didn't notice if you freeze it here and you put the red. They want all the engagement, so it's smarter to have a less effective trailer that'll like stimulate online discussion as opposed to a very powerful, less information trailer.
One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all. And in the darkness, bind them.
Because it's about the rings of power. It's about all that stuff. Like, wouldn't it be fucking awesome if, like, it was if like the first season was about Sauron just getting people all these rings? Like him just coming, like that conversation. I just have no idea what was actually like. We're like, somebody comes up and it's like, got these rings of power. You guys want them?
You want to be powerful?
You guys want to be powerful?
Like, just
everyone.
You get a ring, and you get a ring, and
no,
you
I mean, like
get a
kind
ring.
of, sort of, but like a little bit though. I mean, like because it's like you know, and like is he sending like a worm tongue, like an obviously evil person? It's like, would you like these rings of power? You know,
I don't think so.
You know?
I think Sauron and the internet is convinced that Sauron's going to be like totally fuckable.
Ooh.
So some hot guy rolls up, wants to give you a ring.
He literally had like, well, that's the other. I mean, that
Are you
going back to the
telling
other
me that
things, which I'm
Dooku
sure,
was?
like,
Dooku was horny.
Well, that's like going back to like other
fuckable.
changes like in the original movies that nobody seems to give a fuck about. Like is the fact that like they literally turned Sauron into a literal eye sitting on top of the fucking thing when that was just Tolkien. Like,
do we think the
being
naked guy is Sauron maybe because he's on fire and
no,
it's him turning into the eyeball?
No, he literally has like a corporal form that he's trying to re-inhabit that is like there. Like in the castle, from what I remember from reading the shit, and like when he said, you know, like when he literally talked about the Eye of Sauron, it wasn't literal. That was just Peter Jackson being about as subtle as a fucking brick to the fucking nose and shit like that. You know what I mean? But it looks amazing, and it totally works within the context of that film because sometimes changes in the, you know, in prose and in stories can like totally make sense and just be totally warranted. It's like if they can stand on their own 2 feet, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think, yeah, like not that crazy great of a trailer, but I'm interested. I'm down.
Sure.
Gonna watch.
You know, yeah, we're gonna. You guys have a fucking dog named Gandalf. Of course, you guys are gonna watch. Of course, you guys are gonna fucking watch.
Little
You know what I mean?
fucker.
Like, so yeah, so I don't know. We're probably gonna be checking out in some form whether or not we do bar reactions or whether or not we kind of do it in this form, like in the you know, like kind of like with just like the couple 2-3 of us or whatever it is. We're gonna be covering it, so make sure you keep it here. One way that you can keep it here is to just make sure that you hit that like and that subscribe and hit the little bell thingy and all that good stuff. It helps us out tremendously, and we really do appreciate it. And we will check y'all later.